Psychic showdown between the Daily Wire and Steven Crowder. Let's see what's going on with these two. Welcome back to my channel. This is Fortune Cookies Tarot, and we have a psychic tarot showdown. So those of you who've been following my channel since the beginning, and thank you so much for my repeat offenders who are still here. You guys know that I love my politics, but that the YouTube does not like my politics. So I don't put a lot of political readings up. I did earlier on, and I pulled them off my channel and off my Facebook feed and Instagram, just because they're incendiary, I guess. And not because of anything that I said in particular, but just because people are, it's such a hot button topic. I mean, you're just not supposed to talk about politics, religion, or I don't know what was the other one, humor. I don't know. I think humor gets added to it now. So but I'm a fan of Ben Shapiro, partly because he looks like my dad did when he was younger. I think that he comes to the table with a lot of facts. Steven Crowder, I became aware of him with the Change My Mind campaign that he did. He goes to college campuses and he sets up a little booth and it says Change My Mind. And I think it's a really great idea and a platform to get people to go there and discuss. 9 times out of 10, what he produces is people coming up and acting very irrationally. There was one particular transgender argument that he had that I actually thought that there was a woman who was I believe an engineer that came up with some really amazing counter arguments, and I actually reached out to this person on Facebook thinking that I could just follow her political career. It was actually her personal Facebook, so I actually became friends, and then I apologized on LinkedIn. I was like, listen, I'm sorry. But she was very gracious and very kind, and I did say, I thought you were very well spoken. I thought, in the face of adversary that, you conducted yourself beautifully. And I'm going to keep an eye on your political career because this individual does have a political career as well. So that being said, what is going on between the Daily Wire and Steven Crowder? Steven Crowder is he is demonetized on YouTube and I think he's on Rumble. And I think he has his own platform too that, you can kind of subscribe and go see him. But apparently Daily Wire was going to bring him over, and they gave him not a contract, but a preliminary contract. I guess it was for $50 million, and they countered, Steven Crowder's team countered for more. And they just said, okay, we're not going to do this then. And it was like a done deal. So now there's like Candace Owens is talking about it, and Crowder's, sloppy shuffle. I just did one. You didn't see it, but we'll give you guys a sloppy shuffle. Dang it. And I'm just noticing that my sloppy shuffle video has 2 punctuations. The exclamation point is the one you should pay attention to. So whatever you're drinking, have a drink. It's Sunday. I'm having a hot cup of tea. So let's see what's going on with this situation. Like I said, I listened to a lot of both sides of the political fence. So, I try to be as reasonable as possible. I mean, Gregopedia and I don't know if I'm showing too much of my slip right now, but Gregopedia and I did one of those tests, and we came up as libertarians. So, we like our own personal freedoms, and, we want the government to intervene as necessary. And, we kind of do it that way. So, but not super outspoken about it. I am curious about politics. I do like to pay attention to political races and those sorts of things. So I may do my own private platform for subscription that I can do my political readings there and you guys can chime in. So let's see what's going on with this beef because they're both talking about it. So let's see what's the gist of this beef. Is it what we think it is? Is it pentacles that are getting in the way, or is it the wands? What is the situation? What is the genesis of this beef between the two parties? Let's see. It's pentacles. It's about getting more pentacles and hitching your cart to a platform, hitching your cart to a platform and wanting to make sure that it's sustainable in terms of income. But I think the reaction was a bit too emotional. Now, I react to things emotionally too. I can totally understand that. If you think this is an insulting offer, it may well be. But there are other ways to express that. You don't have to jump out and immediately go, that's crazy, and pound your fist on the table, unless it really is insulting. And then by all means, do that. Been there, done that. So I think what is happening here, and to be sure, like tarot readers get that all the time. Like, people say, oh, can you read my cards for $5? No, I can't read your cards for $5. So, I to be sure, full disclosure, I do a lot of donated readings. I mean, I've had on occasion individuals reach out to me and they say, well, I don't have a lot of money. And I go, well, I'll donate a reading to you. We can do that. If you're really in a spot. I read tarot cards to help people and to give them a different view of the situation or guidance, with a different scope. It's really the reason I do this. So, I don't do it to, be like, this crazy seer or anything. I do have that, but I do it to help people make better decisions and carve out a better path for themselves. So with these two guys, it looks like this was about money. And Stephen responded to the offer very emotionally, and it looks like the deal is done. It doesn't look like there's any resurrecting this. So what was the Daily Wire, aka Ben Shapiro, what was his take on the response when they got the counter preliminary offer? What was Ben's response? So we're not going to negotiate. We're not going to do this. This isn't going to work. This isn't a situation that's going to work. We thought it could, but there are other things that we have to do. We can't be tinkering around with this, and we can't, get embroiled in a battle royale because we've got a good thing going on. So there was almost like this is a fiery program that we're trying to bring on here, but if it's fiery programming, that's great. But if it's fiery in our face, not so great. We don't want to deal with that. We don't want to have that kind of a situation. So I think that Stephen really was like, yeah, I don't feel like getting into a fight with this one. I'm not going to fight for it. I'm just going to say, you know what, pass, keep things status quo. Was he surprised that there was backlash? I think hindsight 2020. I think he was like, we have the Queen of Wands here for my stick person deck. Queen of Wands, 7 of Pentacles in reverse, and then we have that 8 of Swords upright. So I think he was surprised at the response. Like, I think it was like, this is just negotiation. Like what could I have done differently? I couldn't have done anything differently. Like, we made an offer. He said no, and we said okay. We're honoring that request. Like, so I think really that is I think he's more baffled by the drama than anything else. I think like that's really kind of surprising to him. So there was a third party in it, and his name is Jeremy, and I believe he is one of the attorneys over at the Daily Wire, and I believe he was better friends with Steven Crowder. Now that's whatever we're going to hear at this point, if that was true or not true, the story may change, but let's see what's going on with that friendship right there. And a little bit of a sloppy shuffle. Dang it. And we're back from our sloppy shuffle break. So, yeah, the other party, I think his name's Jeremy. It's definitely a J name. He's upset that this is disrupting their friendship. He does not want it to. He wants to maintain the friendship, but it seems like there's kind of a battle at hand. I don't think he's going to be able to maintain that friendship. So that's unfortunate. That's terrible. Anything he can do to fix it? And I'm going to apologize. I really couldn't find a great picture of Steven Crowder on the thumbnail that was like a recent picture, like younger ones, but like none with the beard and with the show in the background. I was like, like I don't want people to think like I was like anti-Crowder. I'm not anti-Crowder. I mean, I'm very much pro speaking your mind. And he is somebody who absolutely speaks his mind. So is there anything that this Jeremy individual can do to resurrect the friendship? So it's walk away for now. It's leave it alone. Leave this alone. See what you can do and just come back to it at a later time. Like, nothing happened. And then take inventory then and see how you need to conduct yourself after that point. It really is about just kind of waiting and seeing if this cools down. No response necessary. You don't have to go on Twitter or anything like that. It potentially is an end to the friendship, but it's kind of a silly end to the friendship. Not really something that needed to happen. So time may heal these wounds. So let's see what the future of Crowder's show is going to be. Is it going to damage his brand? Is it going to improve his brand? Is it shining more of a light on his brand? Are we hearing more about his brand? I think he's going to be sorry that he didn't, because he could have been like the wild man over there. He could have been like the wild guy at Daily Wire. It seems like the Daily Wire is pretty fairly put together and pretty straight-laced, starch collar kind of thing. It's very professional. It's a very professional organization. I love that they have their own movie production house, which I think is fantastic. I haven't seen any of the movies, but I do think that it's kind of amazing that he went, Ben Shapiro went ahead and just was like, I'm going to make my own production studio. I'm going to make movies now. So good for him. But I think that Steven's going to be a little bit sorry that he did not, cuddle up with this offer to see if they could kind of grow it together. And I think that was really, the part that he missed is that there were opportunities to grow together that maybe not were immediately evident to him. So what if he did accept the offer? Okay, what if he did? He would not have loved it. He would have played the game. He would have done the balancing act. And eventually he would have gone back out on his own. Like I don't think this is a great place, a great fit for him. It just seems like their direction is heading in a little bit different direction. He is very rogue-ish. I'm gonna say that he's kind of a lone wolf. I hesitate to say like the Howard Stern of like conservative talk, but you know, the format's a little bit similar. He's got a bunch of different characters on there that are awesome. Um, he's got you know, kind of a rabid following. You know, it started out, you know, very grassroots, and it has built up to quite a nice following. So I do understand that he's commanding higher paychecks than had been offered to him. I get where he's coming from. So how's the Daily Wire going to do in the next year? Let's just see that. Let's see how the Daily Wire is going to do. I think Ben Shapiro has like another baby on the way, so I don't know if he's going to be super focused on that or what. Daily Wire is going to deal with some negativity from this. They're going to be very selective about who they partner up with moving forward. Maybe some changes of the guard. I think being very frank about how they're feeling about it. You know, they're going to have to deflect some negative talk about them, and I think that is going to kind of put them on their back foot. You know, I like I said, I do like that there's a lot of facts that they both come to the table with when they discuss issues. But I think that this is a beef that the Daily Wire should stay out of. They should take a page out of Queen Elizabeth's book and never complain, never explain. What should they do? What should they do? Not engage. Not engage in this. It's like almost like tabloid conversation. Don't engage in it. You're going to raise that level up. Just be patient. It'll eventually go away. We're not going to have to deal with this forever. So that's really, I think, the best advice for them. So I don't want to spend too much more time on this. So we are going to close out this video. It's a little bit shorter. It's a little mini taste of some political tarot. So exciting stuff. So, and we had a bunch of sloppy shuffle, so you had a couple of drinks. But listen, thanks everybody for being here. As always, there is a link in the signature if you would like to get your own magical reading with me. There's also a course schedule for my Tarot 101 class on my website, fortunecookiestarot.com. And as always, thank you so much for being here. It's my favorite part of the day. I really do love being here with all of you and this little community that we've built. So everybody have a great rest of your day, and I will see you all soon. Bye-bye.